Hey, what's going on, everybody? JT
Hello.
here. We got CJ going
What's
here.
up, YouTube?
And today we're going to talk about altcoins and different projects that a lot of people have not heard about. Everybody's heard about Bitcoin. Most people have heard about Ethereum. So let's talk about some of our other projects that we like to.
We're going to talk about one of my favorites. Guess what it is?
Oh, I think maybe I know somebody in this room that's wearing a shirt. Oh,
Polkadot.
Polkadot. What's up? Fun name.
Listen to this guy and get some.
I like the mustache he's got. That's pretty slick. You get the split in the middle.
You know what, man? You should actually
Should grow that out with the little, you know what I mean? The little
little
chin
thing there,
piece and
yeah.
the little split in there.
bring
It's
it back to like 1978.
It's like the inverse of Hitler. He had a bunch right here. It's like splitting in dip.
All right, let's leave the Nazis out of this. Moving on. All right, what are we getting into?
All right, so let's talk about, well, we just named one. Let's talk about Polkadot, because that, in my opinion, is one of my favorites next to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Polkadot is a new thing, but we got Kusama, we got Cardano. So tell us about some of our projects that we're allocated in and we like our members to be involved with.
So let's talk about Polkadot and Kusama, because Kusama is a test network, so they're both the same labs. Kusama is a test network where they deploy things first, test the code.
Here we go with the
test
technical
it.
stuff.
What I'm just saying, it's the same carbon copy of the code, but before they do
What
an
code?
update, the code for Polkadot, meaning
Okay.
it's a carbon copy of the network. It's a network like Ethereum or Cardano. So, but it's a little different, where it's a layer 0 chain, a relay chain. So when you trade on Ethereum, or you do a transaction on Ethereum, you run it right through Ethereum. Ethereum processes the transaction, gets done, you pay them. Polkadot is what's called a layer 0 or a relay chain, and they have different slots in their relay chain, and other blockchains run on top of them, all interconnected, interoperability like we were talking about before. And each one of these, they call them parachains, run on a slot. And how the parachains get on there is they bid for a lease, trying to keep it as simple as possible. They put in a bid for a lease, okay, and how they pay for that is with shares of Kusama for the Kusama network, Polkadot for the Polkadot network.
So let me just break this down. Let me reword that. So break down what, because you probably think of the word parachain 20 times a day, 30, 40
More than
days
that.
a week. Yeah. So, but tell everybody what define parachain. So
Okay.
they can break down what language you're speaking.
It's a separate blockchain. So it's a regular blockchain that runs on top of this new technology, which is Polkadot's layer 0 chain. So the problem with Ethereum, and the guy that created Polkadot and Kusama, Gavin Woods, was an original Ethereum developer. And
3, right?
there was more than that, but the big ones were Vitalik Buterin, Charles Hodgkinson, who's the founder of Cardano, and Gavin Woods. And Charles and Gavin both realized, hey, you know what? This isn't going to be fast enough. And they didn't make it upgradable. And they said, well, let's finish Ethereum as a proof of concept. And then the rest is history. Ethereum blew up.
So when
as a
you say
network.
fast enough, let's break that down into, say, for example, how many, and I know the answer, but how many, PayPal is capable of X amount of transactions per second, Bitcoin is capable of X amount of transactions per second, Ethereum, and of course, Polkadot.
Bitcoin is like 8 to 10, roughly.
1,000.
No, 8 to 10 transactions per second.
Okay.
1 second.
Right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Ethereum is like 18 to low 20s per second. So effectively like almost triple what Bitcoin does. Newer, better technology. Again, not fast enough to onboard billions of users.
What does PayPal do?
Visa, I think, is 36. I think they average about 2,500 to 3,000 per second. They have a theoretical high end of, I believe, 36,000 per second for like the Visa network. And that's a huge global thing, but it's run on centralized servers.
Centralized meaning one spot.
You have a data center with computers in a few locations on the world, so if something happened to one of them, you could go down. Neither here nor there on that, but you get the idea to keep it simple. So with this, Cardano did a layer 1 and a layer 2. So with Ethereum now, the transaction fees are really high because people are fighting to be head in line when the network gets busy.
Right.
And we have layer 2 solutions now, like one that we invested in, Polygon Matic.
Yep.
You have Arbitrum that just deployed. What else is there for a layer 2 out there? I can't think of something. You have optimistic rollups. You have a few other solutions, and they make it go through faster, and they make it go through cheaper. And then what they do is they take all that data and they relay it back to the Ethereum chain at a later time, and they constantly take snapshots of the network, so if something happens they have it all backed up,
So
so
all
they
this
know where
is
they were.
basically a fancy way of saying lots of checks and balances and
Correct.
how much processing power the network can
They want to
handle.
use the main network, but they want to take that consistent load off of it from people doing smaller transactions. So you do them on a second layer chain, which can do them faster and cheaper, and then say, hey, we got 100,000 transactions here. We're going to send them all in one bundle down to the main chain, so you're not clogging it up and making it slow and expensive to utilize. Because the network fees I've showed you before, they can get up to like $500-600 on Ethereum just from it being so busy with, if there's a big NFT drop and tens of thousands of people are trying to
Non-fungible
compete.
tokens.
Yeah, trying to compete to get that, or if there's an ICO going or something. But network to alleviate.
ICO is initial coin offering.
Correct. And it's to alleviate network congestion. Cardano does it with their own base layer and their own layer 2 built into their main network. So it's all them doing it. They have a high-speed transaction layer on the outside and a main reporting layer on the inside to hold it to avoid congestion. What Polkadot did, which is different than anybody else did, was they came up with this concept of a layer 0, meaning it's called a relay chain. They're relaying information for other chains to make chain A talk to B, talk to C, to make Ethereum talk to Cardano, talk to EOS, Tezos. These are all other networks, but basically cross-chain compatibility, which is going to be the future. And they're building a network to make a new, basically, internet, Web3 tech.
Web 3.0.
Exactly,
right?
correct. So they built this base layer, and they also do a concept called shared security, meaning the base layer, Polkadot and Kusama, have their own built-in intrinsic security that they set up and have been audited. And now as they bring in these other blockchains to their relay, so you got, your main chain down here, and then you got one up here, one here, one here, you know what I mean? Kind of like a, I don't want to say spiral, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess you got to make. So I guess if you took a bicycle chain and you made a big circle, then you took 20 more bicycle chains and strung them all into that circle. So they're all spinning on their own, but they're all spinning back to that main one. So the main one has all the information from, I want to say there's 100 slots that they can do or something like that at this point. So basically you have all the information from 100 different blockchains reporting back to that relay chain that's holding all that information. And by doing that, you open up the door to, well, you can connect any chain to this. And they have bridges built into Ethereum. So Polkadot's going to work with stuff on Ethereum. And they're not.
So just to clarify, when you say hook another chain up to it, you're saying, in other words, Polkadot and Ethereum can say, hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Some of these blockchains that are going on this Polkadot relay chain will communicate back to Ethereum and then hit back to Polkadot. So you're sharing the data, basically. Network effect.
Right.
But this technology is so new, they're doing it. So the Parachains, which are these blockchains that are going to run on this layer 0, okay,
Right.
are going to do the smart contracts, the DeFi, the NFT platforms, the gaming. All of those features are going to be built by separate companies, all working together on the Polkadot ecosystem.
Right.
And they'll be interoperable because they're made with, it's called Substrate, is their code language that they created for it.
Explain really quick. We talk about NFT, but DeFi. Tell everybody what that the people don't know. A lot of people watch this.
Decentralized finance, basically lending and borrowing digital assets.
Decentralized means it's not in a building in a brick and mortar place in Umpty Dump, whatever state.
No one central
It's all over anyway.
figure. Like you don't have to go to like XYZ Bank to do all your stuff. You
From
can go on
banker's
the platform.
hours and get there by 2 o'clock to be able to transact a wire. Otherwise, you got to wait till the next day. It doesn't go through the next day. This is all decentralized all around the world. 7 run. So, you need to wire somebody, send somebody some money. Get on at midnight or 1 in the morning, with depends on what side of the world you're on, and get it done.
Yeah, you take whatever DeFi application you want.
You don't have to drive to the bank and wait in the line. And now they don't even have people there. Now you got to talk to the machine.
But the biggest thing I want to talk about that I'm actually really excited about that we've been doing and has gone very well to get these different blockchains on the layer 0 chain with Polkadot and Kusama. Kusama is their test network, so it's basically the same platform. This is their testing ground. They find something wrong, they fix it, they tweak it, they get it going good before they deploy it on Polkadot, which is the big boy, the main network. Okay. To get a parachain on there, they do a lease, which is about 40 weeks, and they have to bid for them, eBay style, with whoever wants to go on there. And they let the community at this point decide who goes on. So if you own shares of Kusama or Polkadot, when they do these auctions, you're allowed to go in and pledge your shares to a project. I'm going to keep this very simple. Project A. Project A you like. Okay, let's just say one of the ones that we're doing is Altair. If you like the Altair project, and they're in this round of auctions that's going on right now, I believe they're the leader for the 8th slot auction, I believe is going on right now today. If you like this project, there's a very good website called .marketcap.com. You can go on and you can see each project, and they tell you per one of your shares that you pledge to us, we will give you X amount of our tokens in return. If they win their slot, your shares are locked for 40 weeks or whatever the length of their lease is. At the end, you get your shares back. So if you put up one share, you would get whatever the chain agreed to give out to their contributors as a reward. That gets airdropped to your wallet. So you don't have to do anything. It's just they deposit it in your wallet address that came from. And then at the end of the lease period, you get your share back. Now, they don't hold the shares, which is the beauty of this. What interested me, they don't hold the shares. The Polkadot or Kusama network lock those shares like in a smart contract on their behalf so they can use those as bidding. So basically it allows the community to select who goes up, and these startup companies are going to incentivize you with shares of their tokens, most of which aren't even out yet. They launch them as they win because they're not up and running yet, because a lot of these first projects were built specifically to run on this. Later on down the line, you'll have startups and smaller projects that don't, let's just say, have the funding to go. I think the first couple was, 200,000 to 300,000 shares to win a slot auction, and Kusama was like $400 a share, so you're talking tens of millions of dollars to secure one of these spots.
So, and just to wrap up, one more question, and then we'll wrap it up. We don't want to bore everybody. And again, if you're not in the crypto space, it sounds a little foreign, like we're speaking a different language. But it's the first step to understanding new technology, what's going on.
Absolutely.
And it gives you a taste of it, and then you can research it. And again, we're going to be posting a lot of different content about it on the website. But how many? This is what I always love about Polkadot. How many? CJ, tell us how many transactions is Polkadot claiming? We don't know behind the scenes, but are they basically capable of transacting?
Theoretical high limit. I'm pretty sure the number was 166,000 per second.
So that's five times, roughly 4 or 5 times as much as our main credit card companies.
160,000 after, yeah. I mean, theoretically, I'm not sure what they tested and audited at. But to give you the cliff notes, what we just talked about. Yeah, you're about right, about fine. The cliff notes on what we just talked about on these parachain auctions. You can select these projects. You can see what they do. You can read their white paper. You can see how many of their coins they'll allocate you per one share you contribute. Okay, and they don't hold it, so there's nobody that can steal your shares. You pledge it. The main network secures it, and you get your share back. So you basically take a share of stock. You back a company that you like to support it. You basically let them borrow it. Right. Okay, but they don't hold it. They can't take it. And in return, you get free shares of their stock.
Right.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
And we've done pretty well with
projects,
it.
Yeah, that's when we get involved with, and that's what CJ and I do, and all of our team. We have other people that work with us as well. Is constantly research these projects, and when it comes out, so this way we can share that with our members. So a lot of these projects have given 5,000% returns. I mean, crazy amount of returns because
they're pretty insane.
They're new companies, and they give that out basically to be big boy companies, grow up in their project. What's the word I'm looking for? Grow their network. So when you get in early with these projects, some
of the returns can be insane,
crazy money. So we'll get more into that though. everybody, hit our like, subscribe, sign
Yep,
up
down here.
subscribe on YouTube. And we're going to be doing a free webinar for everybody that signs up for all that. That's what we do with our members a lot. And this way, everybody's involved with the projects we have coming out, mining projects, anything to do with crypto. So thank you very much for your time, everybody.
All right, one last thing. I'm not a financial advisor. JT's not a financial advisor. This guy in my t-shirt, he's a financial advisor. Do what he says.
Anyways, jeez. Where'd you get that shirt anyways?
Walmart. Can we say Walmart?
Yeah, whatever. They're going to sue us, whatever.
Links down below.
Yeah,
Like and
links.
subscribe. Good night.
See you later.